Hello, I just thought I'd share some tips on circular breathing. Probably a bit of a misnomer because you're not, in fact, breathing in a circle like some kind of dinosaur or bird. Um, you are, in fact, breathing normally through your nose, sometimes through your mouth, sometimes isolating your mouth and squeezing air out of your cheeks while breathing normally through your nose. And that is what we call circular breathing. You can do it on a Pibgorn or any type of hornpipe, oboe, clarinet type of instrument. I think you can do it with saxophones and brass, but it's especially useful for pibai hornpipes, pibai kir, and Highland bagpipe practice chanters. And the reason it's useful, especially on Highland pipe chanters, is because the standard way of teaching practicing a tune is when you're taking a breath, carry on fingering the nose. My brain doesn't compute with that. I don't find that useful at all. I prefer circular breathing, and don't ask me why. I'm not a wind player, I'm a bagpipe player and a fiddler. So I don't really play wind instruments in general. So maybe that's why I struggle, and that's why I feel the need to blow out constantly because I'm a bagpiper, I guess. So, and there's a couple of ways of demonstrating what I mean. I don't know if there's a good way to teaching, I guess we'll find out. But way number one of demonstrating is, well, one of the ways is by using a straw and some water and blowing some bubbles. We'll come back to that. My preferred way of demonstrating is two stage. First, you inflate your cheeks, keep them inflated, and this is a bit that is difficult because I can't tell you which muscle to turn on and off, but you have to which flap in the back of your throat to turn on and off. But there's a way of isolating these cheeks so you can breathe in through your nose. You find on the Highland chanter, Highland practice chanter, the ability to breathe out while maintaining that mouth pressure is quite important. Probably on other instruments, but I found it most important on the Highland chanter. Because if you can't breathe out, if you can only breathe in, like I could to begin with, I could only breathe in, and I found that the air, it doesn't take enough air to vent your lungs. So there's all this CO2 and whatever building up in your lungs, which you want to exhale. So the urge to breathe comes from the buildup of toxins or whatever gases in your lungs, and so you start feeling funny. Having said that, the process of learning to isolate your mouth to maintain a certain pressure and breathe in, but especially out, felt really weird back here. But that weirdness only lasted for a little while. That's the good news. So stage one. Okay. That is how I learned to find the relevant muscles, flaps, whatever in the back of my throat to allow a breath in and a breath out while maintaining the pressure. Step two, and this is the next step. Do that as if you're blowing like a trumpet, but breathe in and breathe out. So when you're actually doing this, when you're playing it on a proper instrument, you'll find that part of the time you're using your lungs to breathe out like normal. Some of the time you want to fill your cheek and continue to blow out through your mouth while you breathe in, but you also want to be able to breathe out to vent excess buildup of gases in your lungs. So the way I do this is So some of the time I'm breathing out with my diaphragm. So I'm breathing out from my lungs through my mouth, just like normal. But then, this is a video of funny noises, more than bagpipes. So then you transfer to your mouth pressure. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to breathe out from my lungs and then transfer to inflated mouth pressure. So and then I took a breath in. I'm going to do that and then breathe out. Okay, this looks and sounds silly, I know it does. If you're watching this video just to laugh at me, then, you know, comment. Or not. If you're finding this useful, do let me know. So, tell my kids not to blow bubbles with the straw into a cup of water. You can also demonstrate the same thing using the straw. That was me blowing a steady stream of air, not too hard, just enough for some bubbles to come out, using a lung breath, a diaphragm breath. But this time I'm going to do that and then transfer just to mouth pressure while breathing in and breathing out. And it looks like this. Okay, what I was actually doing is using lung pressure, breathing in, lung pressure, breathing out, lung pressure, breathing in. So there's like a transfer of flow from lungs to isolated mouth pressure in between an in-breath and then between blowing again and then out again. So do that again. Okay, so transition isn't always going to be smooth, and the best way to demonstrate that, after I've had a drink of water, of course. Always drink water. Plenty of water. So you can demonstrate the transition not only by watching my chest and listening for nose noises, which I'm trying to exaggerate for the purposes of demonstration, but also in the tone of the chanter. And obviously this is going to be a difficult thing to begin with, and as you practice and practice and practice, it gets better. So one of the things that happens is you don't get the, you know, once you've learned the basic concept, is getting the transition smooth is quite a difficult thing. You can hear the transition. As an inconsistency of pressure. Now obviously you're trying to get that consistency of pressure exactly even, because it's like playing a bagpipe. You're trying to keep the pressure even as much as possible. Certainly in the Highland pipes you are. So where there's that transition, there's often a little fluctuation in pressure. It can lead to the note cutting out altogether. It can lead to you introducing too much pressure and stopping the reed, like this. It's okay, I forced that a bit, but you know, demonstration. So don't worry, it's not going to go well for a few months, if not longer. Stick with it though, if you want to be able to do it. So yeah, you can still hear when I'm breathing or not. Maybe I'll iron that out in the future. Who knows? Hopefully. But The same goes for Pibgorn, volume warning. I'm going to play it. So we do the same thing. You also get a flange effect, or what you might call a wah effect, or whatever, because the inside of your mouth changes shape, and that, and this affects the quality of sound as well, which is fun. You can use that musically on one of these. So yeah, so I shall demonstrate now by playing a tune on this and a tune on the Highland Chanter. Hopefully demonstrate circular breathing. And what you can do on this is you can tut 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 like on the recorder to put little brief stops for, you know, separating notes that are way shorter than the space you need for a good breath. But for now, I probably won't do that, just for a demonstration. Or maybe I'll do it on the second time round. We'll see. Oh, I did it on the first time round. Hang on. I always tend to finish on a full breath, which is funny. It's the opposite of when you're not circular breathing. You tend to finish on an empty breath. So that is one advantage. If you get the technique comfortable, then you can play for a long time. The only thing I'll say is with these, it does mean that your lips don't get any chance to relax while you're breathing in. So you will need to build more lip strength, which can only be a good thing, I guess. Here we go. Okay, I managed to stop the chanter with too much pressure at one point during that tune. And also, please don't criticise my playing. I'm demonstrating the breathing. I know that was a bit rough playing wise. So I will say that while you're learning circular breathing, it will challenge. Well, yeah, it will give you more challenges to place the breathing and to place the breathing in sections where you don't have to do lots and lots of finger work or something. So you have to kind of figure that out, and so part of the process is learning to play the tune, but also learning to breathe, and then so that you're not kind of rushing sections and stuff. But anyway, that's practice. You need to spend a long time practicing it, is all I'm going to say about that. But once you do, then I find it's much more satisfying to be able to play a tune, especially when it comes to the Highland Chanter, all the way through without gaps. So you can practice not only the fingering pattern, but also, you know, hearing where there would otherwise be no sound. So that's that, circular breathing. Hope that was useful. I'm going to go away and practice that because, you know, I'm no expert, but that's how I get into it and start the practice of it. Yeah, okay. Cheers. Bye bye.